Let me take you to the red-earthed heart of Ondo State, where a farmer named Mr. Ajagunle worked his fields with a tenacity carved by generations. Can you picture it? The deep grooves of tribal marks on each cheek, a living testament to heritage. 6 feet 7 inches of muscle and memory. He wore only faded knee-length khaki shorts, his chest bare to the rain-cooled sky. Now you might be thinking, what drives a man to keep cultivating land his family has tilled for decades? It's not just tradition, it's stewardship. This is about agricultural inheritance, a term for the passing down of both land and practice. Ajagunle's 5 hectares were more than earth. They were his parents' hopes, their struggle, their sweat fertilizer for every seed he planted. But here's the conflict. Inheritance is double-edged. Yes, you gain, but you also carry the weight of family expectation and past hardship. He worked the land his and theirs alone, sometimes with a hired crew, but mostly himself, wielding his hoe and cutlass like a craftsman's brush. If you've ever wondered what resilience looks like, picture him there, rain-soaked, sore, but undefeated, praying for just one good harvest to tip the scales. That's the promise and peril of legacy. It inspires, yet it haunts. So next time you hear the term generational wealth, remember for many, it means not riches, but the relentless will to keep going, season after season, with hope as their only guarantee. Let me tell you a story about solitude, the kind that grows on you like a second skin. After a long day, Ajagunle retreated to his bamboo and palm leaf hut, his safe haven tucked away among the crops. Have you ever felt the world shrink to a single meal and a flickering lamp? He unwrapped his fufu, now cooled by the gentle breeze. Here enters the technical bit, food preservation. Ajagunle wrapped his meal in a brown towel for insulation, fighting entropy, the natural tendency for things to lose order, like soup losing heat. But farming life means improvising, warming his food over a fire made from whatever branches he could muster. Now, you might ask, why endure such hardship and isolation? The answer is resilience, a psychological shield, not just against loneliness, but also against uncertainty. His only company, the relics of his parents' old pots, a kerosene lamp, plates older than he was, each item a relic of continuity. Yet even in this solitude, Ajagunle clung to hope. No work is stress-free, he'd mutter, accepting both gain and loss as fixed variables in the equation of rural life. And in the quiet after the meal, he bathed in the stream, changed, and checked his traps, always seeking small victories, like an antelope caught at dusk, a sign that sometimes persistence pays off. Have you ever caught yourself praying for a breakthrough while the world seems determined to hold you down? Ajagunle, antelope slung on his shoulder, rode home under the weight of more than just meat. His mind circled around hardship and ambition, swallowed by thoughts that echoed down the empty roads of Akura. He pondered the social theory of structural inequality, how environmental barriers and absent support can turn industrious people into mere strugglers. In his view, privilege was simply a ladder, and not everyone is handed one. God, when will I be free from all this hardship? He'd whisper to the stars, burdened by memories of parents who labored their whole lives, only tasting comfort on festive days. Now, you might be thinking, is success really just a matter of effort? Ajagunle's story complicates this. His weekends spent on the farm, his solitary walks, and even his bread purchase at Okeizgun Junction show that sometimes it's not laziness, it's circumstance. Yet, Ajagunle never stopped working. He leaned on routine, on hope, and a belief that perseverance could rewrite destiny. He joked with the bread seller, held on to small joys, and kept moving forward, even when the world seemed indifferent. In this act, his struggle becomes universal, the quiet heroics of those who toil, unseen, dreaming of deliverance. Let's step inside the next chapter, a homecoming gone wrong. Have you ever entered your home, expecting warmth, only to find silence thick as midnight fog? Ajagunle returned to his fenced house by the gas station, expecting the familiar scold from his wife. Instead, nothing. The kitchen spotless, the living room undisturbed, her purse lying untouched. Here comes the technical term, situational awareness. It's more than noticing what's missing. It's a sixth sense for when the pattern of your life is disrupted. Ajegunle's unease grew. Each unanswered call for his wife, "Honey, Deborah," drumming up anxiety. Was she at the neighbor's Ialiwa's bread stand or somewhere else entirely? Now you might ask, why not just wait? But waiting is agony when fear gnaws at your gut. Ajegunle's mind raced through possibilities, each one darker than the last. He tried to distract himself, preparing antelope meat by the solar-lit kitchen, noticing the contrast between modern technology. His solar setup, replacing unreliable electricity, and the primitive dread that settled over him. He clung to routine, but the silence was a living thing. Tick-tock went the clock, louder with every second. He jumped up at 10, unable to sit still, driven by a desperate need for answers. So, what do you do when the familiar turns sinister? Sometimes, you just move out the door, into the night, in search of the missing piece of your world. Picture Okeizugun Junction at night. Neon lights, pounding Fuji music, crowds spinning in the glow of beer parlors and motor parks. But for Ajegunle, the brightness only sharpened his worry. Have you ever felt utterly alone in a crowd, your heart pounding with dread? He asked Ialea, the bread seller, if she'd seen his wife. "She passed by this morning," was all the comfort he got. Here's where social networks come in technical term: informal surveillance. In tight-knit towns, everyone keeps an eye out. Yet tonight, even these networks offered no answers. Now you might be thinking, why not check everywhere? Ajegunle, did he comb the shopping mall, eyed the dance floor, and, wrestling internal shame, stepped into the VIP bar where uniformed women floated through filtered music? He found no sign of her. Just as he turned to leave, chaos erupted: a police raid, sudden and brutal. Ajegunle, lost in his own search, became collateral. He barely got a word out before fists and confusion swept him into custody. Victim of what's called sweep operations, indiscriminate law enforcement tactics in urban spaces. So here's the harrowing close. In one night, the farmer searching for his wife became another lost soul in the city's machinery. Who will listen for him now? This is where the story leaves us. Hearts racing, questions echoing, and the promise of comfort just out of reach.